Okay, so Rimas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear it clearly.
Okay, all right. So we were discussing how you have the x-axis and you have the y-axis, right? You have a grid, so you have this one big box with lots of boxes in it, right? We discussed what a grid
Yes.
is, and then we discussed what the x-axis was and what the y-axis was, right?
Yes.
Now we were discussing what you have to put on the x-axis, right? So what you're supposed to plot on the x-axis and what you're supposed to
It's the
plot.
months. It's the months.
It's the months, yes, but we are going to discuss why it's going to be the months, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to be putting on the x-axis and what we're going to be putting on the y-axis, and why are we going to be putting it in that particular order, okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Now we were discussing about independent and dependent variables. Do you remember that? So we were
No.
discussing independent variables. Wait, let me tell you. Okay, so we have independent variables and we have dependent variables. Remember, I told you that, there are some things that you can change. So for example, you wanted to see how many ice creams, you wanted to see how many ice creams you eat in the month of November, and then how many ice creams you want to eat in the month of December and then January. And then, you note all that information down. Sorry. You note all of that information down. And then you make a graph out of it, right?
Yes.
The way you told me you did at school.
Yes.
And you see, you chose the months yourself, right? You chose the months November, December, and January for your experiment, right?
Yes.
Yes, for your study, you chose the months yourself. So it was something that you could control by your own self, no?
Yes.
So if it's something that you can control by your own self, it's called independent. Okay? What is it called?
Independent.
Yes. And whatever that value or whatever that quantity is going to be the independent variable. Okay?
Okay.
What is it going to be called?
Independent.
Independent variable. Yes, very good. So something, what is an independent variable? Something, okay, you can control. Okay?
Okay.
So what was independent? It was something that you could control by your own self. But then, you wanted to, it was an experiment and you didn't think much. And, let's say you ate 5 ice creams in November, and then maybe you ate 2 ice creams in December and 3 in January. Maybe you were doing an experiment for somebody else. So, you were seeing how many ice creams your friend eats in November and how many ice creams your friend eats in December and in January. You couldn't really control that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if it's something that you can't control by your own self, it's going to be dependent. It's going to be the dependent variable.
Okay.
Okay? So something that you can control. So what was the independent variable and what was the dependent variable? Can you tell me a little bit?
Yes. Independent means something that you can control, and dependent means something that you can honor.
So something that you can't really control is dependent, right? Now
Yeah.
you always have to remember that whatever is independent is going to be plotted on the x-axis.
Okay.
Okay, so whatever is independent is going to be plotted on the x-axis. Is that understood?
Yes.
Yes. Is there any confusion?
No.
No. Okay. So whatever is independent is going to be plotted on the x-axis, and whatever is dependent is going to be plotted on the y-axis.
Y-axis.
Yes. So when you were doing that ice cream experiment, you chose the months yourself, right?
Yes.
Yes, when you chose the months yourself, can you tell me whether that's going to be the independent variable or the dependent variable?
Dependent.
But it's something that you could choose yourself. When it's something that you can control, something that you can choose yourself. But don't you think it's going to be the independent variable?
Yes.
Yes. So something that you can choose yourself is going to be
Independent.
independent variable. Now, these are just some terminologies that you have to learn, sweetheart. While you're doing this, you have to learn them. And then once you know them, then you move on to the fun part. And what's the fun part? It's making the graph. No? Plotting different points. So now that you do know what the independent and the dependent variable is, do you think that maybe we could move on to a graph
Yes.
and how we could make one maybe?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let's look at the question over here then. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay, so in this question, it says graph the following information in a bar graph. So it says here, graph the following information in a bar graph. Label and number the X and Y axis appropriately. Okay, all right. So before we do this one, let's do the one that was about your friend and different ice creams. So your favorite flavor, that is vanilla?
Add mango and cotton candy.
Mango and cotton candy. Okay, so choose your favorite.
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Okay, all right. So we're going to discuss labeling the graph for how many cotton candy ice creams they must eat in the months of November, December, and January. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So let's say you have, we're going to label the months over here. Wait, before we do that, I think we could, yeah, I need some space over here. So I'm just gonna write over here. So the month and the number of ice creams. Okay.
I'm just writing it down.
Okay, sweetheart, sure. You can write it down. Let me know once you've written it, okay?
Okay.
So we have November here, we have December here, and we have January here. I don't have a lot of space over here since I'm not using the whiteboard at the moment. So you're just gonna, I'm just writing the abbreviations. You have to write the full word, okay? Full words,
Okay.
okay? So the months that you choose are Novembers. So, you know, particularly you were talking about November, and you were talking about December, and then you were talking about January. Okay?
Okay.
And we're talking about cotton candy ice cream.
Yes.
Okay.
I already wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not finished writing the months and the numbers.
Okay. So the number of ice creams that you ate in November were maybe 4?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 4 ice creams that you ate in November, and then in December, maybe you ate 5 ice creams.
Yes, and like in January, I ate like 3.
Okay, in January, you ate 3 ice creams, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now that we have this little table with us, can you tell me what I'm going to plot on the x-axis and what I'm going to put on the y-axis?
The x-axis, you're gonna write the months, and then on the y-axis, you're gonna write the numbers.
Okay. And why am I going to write the months on the x-axis?
Because
Remember we talked about something.
I think I forgot.
Remember we talked about something that you can control?
Yes.
So do you think you can control the months that you're choosing for this experiment, for this study?
Yes.
So you can control them. So what are they going to be? The independent variable, and you know the independent variable always comes on the x-axis.
Yes.
And the dependent variable comes on the y-axis. Yes?
Yes. Do I draw the graph?
You have to wait. First, you need to plot it. Okay, you need to scale it, and then we're going to plot it. Okay, so we have months on the x-axis, and what do we have on the y-axis?
Numbers.
Numbers of ice cream. Okay, all right. So let's see what we're gonna do next. Now that are you sure that you know about independent and dependent variables?
Yes, I can look in the board. I can look at your screen.
You can look at my screen. Okay, good. But you have to learn this as well, okay? So you're gonna have to, I know that this is a bit tough, but you have to revise this after class, okay?
Okay.
You sure?
Yes, should I take a screenshot?
You can take a screenshot.
Okay. I'm done.
Okay.